It's Mom and Pop Video Shop.
Human Joel's Horror Lagoon. Dredging the swamp for cult, camp, and restored horror.
Hello and welcome to the Horror Lagoon, where we wade into the murky and often polluted waters of, I think at this point I probably should have Jay redo that intro for me, because I mean, yes, we're still kind of doing like the regional type of stuff, but at this point it's all been like SOV,
Pretty much, yeah.
super no budge DIY, which is fine. I think you and I both are fans, and even when the movie might be on the lesser end of that spectrum.
On the lesser end of the spectrum, yes, which brings us to today's.
Yes, we still can find positive things to talk about.
Absolutely.
So Dave, obviously Dave Becker, Dr. Shock is here with me. As always, I invited Jay, and as he said, Joel, I'm going to quote what you said about Alien Earth. Life is too short.
Did he start it at least?
No. He was referring to my comment about Alien Earth. I did. I watched the first 2 episodes. I can't stand it. I think it's dumb. I think I call Alien Earth a beautiful idiot. It's gorgeous. It looks amazing, and it's completely insipid, and the ideas are just dumb beyond belief, in my opinion.
Okay.
My opinion, if you love Alien Earth, God bless you, have fun.
Right.
But as Jay said, life is too short, which is why he didn't want to sit through our particular movie from today when I described it to him. So we are covering HorrorVision from 2001, which was directed by Danny Draven. Now, my initial response to this was written and produced by Jared Bookwalter, of whom I'm a big fan. I think you're a fan.
Yeah, we did Ozone on this.
Ozone, which I will go to the mat to say is the Citizen Kane of shot on video movies.
I think it's really good too.
Love it. I mean, you could argue 28 Days Later, but 28 Days Later has 35 millimeter at the end. So while it is shot on video,
and had several $1 million behind it, and behind the camera.
Exactly. And I would say the difference is that at least still was even shot on like a mini DV Canon, whereas Ozone was straight up SVHS. Like it is so maybe I should be more specific in my language. It is a Citizen Kane of shot on VHS movies. That's maybe. So and he did Dead Next Door, which is a great fun, low budget movie. I liked. He did a couple of like $500 budget movies. Zombie Cop, which also had a actor who is in this as well, James Black, who was the star of Ozone. Is in that.
I knew he was familiar, and he was. Well, we'll get to it. But
we'll get it. We'll get to it. There's a couple of things in this that I actually really dig.
Yeah,
he may be one of them, and then there are other things where you're like. So I thought Danny Draven, to get back to my point, I thought that was a pseudonym for Jared Bookwalter, because I think there were a few movies. He didn't go full Alan Smithy on them, but I think there are a few movies in his filmography where he used an alternate name.
Right.
But unless he's using a picture of some random guy who looks like a director, I'm assuming Danny Draven's a real dude.
Plus, I have a feeling it is. I think this was written by Bookwalter.
Yes, it was.
His Tempe Entertainment was behind it.
Yep.
Behind the production and Full Moon.
Yep.
Which surprised me when I saw
Charles
Full Moon.
Band. His name is on this.
Charles Band's name is on it, but it was strictly, I think, I had read where they had entered sort of a distribution kind of agreement, a production distribution, because this is around the time that he changed the name from Full Moon Pictures to Full Moon Studios. And I think that it was sort of like this joint production type of thing.
Yeah.
And Charles Band is like, hey, make whatever you want, but do it for under $50,000.
Yep.
And I think, and if that's your goal, Bookwalter's who you're going to hire. He had moved from where was he, in Ohio, I think?
Yes. Yes.
He had moved to California by this point.
Yes.
So that's how him and Band sort of hooked up.
Yeah.
So Charles Band's name is on this strictly as like executive producer. I don't see anything of Charles Band in the movie, to be honest with you, for one very specific reason I'll get into. I'll let you finish off your introduction, but
yeah. And it was also co-written along with Bookwalter by Scott Phillips, who has about 15 IMDb.
I was going to say, known for such movies as HorrorVision.
And codenamed Dynastud.
Oh, okay. Conde Nast. I didn't know he was associated with that one.
Yeah, I know. I'm sure you are happy to know that. So
Yes,
I know what a
I've
completist
ever
you
heard
are.
that title in my life.
And it does not appear to be a corn movie, as the kids who want to get past the YouTube censor say.
Yeah.
It does not appear to be a corn film.
Okay.
So yeah, but this movie also stars Brink Stevens. Well, kind of. She's at the beginning. And Len Cordova, who plays Dez, the protagonist. And then to make it extra confusing, played by Maggie Rose Fleck, his girlfriend, Dazzy. So
Dazzy.
there was at least 3 points for my kids, because actually 2 of my kids watched this with me. And I was like, so is he Dez or is she Dez? I'm confused.
Des and Daz. It's
Des and Daz. Yeah, Des and Daz. I think they were trying to be cute with that, but the problem is, it was just kind of confusing.
It was kind of confusing, yes, because even the subtitles would get it wrong sometimes.
Yes,
and I streamed this, and the subtitles, I couldn't turn them off. And frankly, I'm glad I didn't, because I got some laughs out of them too. They were misspelling words in the subtitles. Whoever did.
Oh, really? That's hilarious. I didn't even watch those.
Really give a damn.
Yes,
just like, okay, well, I think he said this.
And then
it's like that. Do you remember when there's a scene where someone's like really hitting a bell?
Yes.
The guy walks out and he goes, "What's with the effing bell?" Well, it came up, "What's with the effing pill?" on subtitles. So
interesting.
I couldn't even make out the fact that there's a bell in the scene, and he might have been talking about the bell.
Yeah, that's hilarious. So it also had Ariana Albright, who I feel like, and I don't want to speak out of school because I know Bookwalter is married, has a family now, and everything else. I think they were a couple at some point because she was in several films. She was in Polymorph. Yeah, she was in several of his films.
Possible, yeah.
Yeah, and Witch House, I think, which is another one he was behind. And then James L. Edwards, who's a very long-time collaborator with Bookwalter. I think they did a couple things together. So, she's kind of part of that stable of actors. James Black, who, again, starting with Ozone, worked with Bookwalter and was a part of several of those really, really, really low-budget shot on VHS movies he did in that era. So there's there's actually, if you're into this scene, into this world, there are several recognizable faces and names.
I mean, I recognize James Black and I recognize Brink Stevens, obviously.
Yeah. And it's funny because it's like, I'm guessing this is one of those where we got just enough budget and just enough time with her that we can have her be in like one scene. So we'll put her in the opening.
They had her there for one day, probably 3 hours.
Yep, probably.
And said, "Okay, here we go."
But hey, she got to scream. She did her iconic. She's legitimately as this, like when you say scream queen, I feel like Brink is up there, legit.
It's like her, Linnea Quigley, and Michelle Bauer. Those were the three from the late 80s, the straight-to-video scream queens.
Yeah, who is the one? There was one she's a red. Jewel Shepard? Jewel Shepard. She was another one. Another one.
There's a group of them in that later period, yeah.
And they're not like Jamie Lee Curtis.
No, but that's just the level of movies that they're doing. They're doing the straight to video.
Yeah.
Is where they, and they were Charles Band. I'm pretty sure it was Charles Band who swung Brink Stevens.
Yeah.
Because he had worked with her a lot in like Nightmare Sisters and Sorority Babes and the Slime Bolorama and all those other sort of films.
Yeah.
That Brink Stevens, I think the one time Brink Stevens was also in, she had a small role in, oh God, what was it? Slumber Party Massacre.
Yes, she did.
Yeah, she had a small role in that. So
she's actually, did you know she's also in The Naked Gun, technically?
Oh, I did not know that.
You remember at the beginning when at the credits and the cars goes through the shower?
Yeah.
And all the girls are standing there basically naked?
Yeah.
She's one of them.
Oh, okay. Well, that checks.
That tracks. Yes, it does.
Career,
yeah. But yeah, so I was actually trying to see if it's in her credits, which is funny. I don't think it's in her credits. Hold on. Oh, no, yeah, it is.
It is.
Brunette woman in showers. That's what it's credited. Uncredited, apparently. But,
okay.
But I'm glad it's on her IMDb.
Movies. You know how they put the four big movies, not best, but the 4 big movies in the career. What are the 4 movies at the top of Brink Stevens' IMDb page?
The top of her page, which I'm on.
The one where they show like the top 4 movies.
Terror Tunes 4.
Okay.
Slave Girls from Beyond Infinity.
I can see that one. Okay.
Personal Demons from 2018, which is a short film.
Okay.
And Replicator, which I am familiar. That's a shot on video.
Yeah. That's
Why not?
surprising.
Why not Slumber Party Massacre?
Nightmare Sisters.
Nightmare Sisters.
I mean, Slave Girls from Beyond Infinity, I can kind of see because that's in that same group of movies.
Yeah.
But the other ones, no, that's a little bizarre. Usually, it's like when you look at like Gene Hackman, The French Connection, Hoosiers. You get like the 4 big movies.
Yeah.
I wouldn't rank those as the 4 Brink Stevens like
that you immediately think of. She was
Exactly.
recently, did you see Bookwalter's latest film? Because he actually has since moved, years later, moved back to Ohio, lives there now, hadn't made a movie in 20 years or whatever. And he made a movie in the last year, a couple years, called Side Effects May Vary.
I saw a huge gap in his filmography when I was
Yes.
looking him up on Wikipedia.
Yeah, I think he focused more on if he was working in film at all. I think he was working on some other things too, but I think he was doing a lot of more like because I know Tempe, and then it's now called MakeFlix, has been around a lot of this time. I think as far as his filmmaking goes, this is the first movie he's made in years. I supported it on Indiegogo or whatever it was on Kickstarter, and so I've got like the VHS copy, the Blu-ray, a signed poster from him, and yeah, it's actually pretty good. It's really good. They made it for like I'm guessing around 15 to 20, and Brink is in it, and actually has I would argue a bigger part than she did in this. It's got several people from his like heyday of like that 90s, early 2000s. It's got several. James L. Edwards is in it. He's actually the lead. I liked it a lot. It's fun. It's actually great because it's they never say the word COVID, but it's obviously referencing some experimental vaccine and just let's say. And what I love is that he did that thing they used to do always in the 80s. They would take whatever was happening in the world and they'd say, yeah, what if this went sideways?
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? So I love that. Anyway,
that's pretty cool. It's certainly better than what Charles Band came out with that what was, I can't remember what it was, COVID something, where it was just clips of movies.
That's too much on the nose. Like what I love about Side Effects May Vary is he did that thing that they always did again in like the 70s, 80s, and 90s where you
without referencing it.
Yes. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like so they would say, well, yeah, this has got, what if this happens? And it's sort of like, and then it's body horror too. It's total
20 years
gross
from
body
now,
horror.
believe it or not, 20 years from now, people are not going to always know what the hell COVID was.
Yeah, that's true. I know it's hard for kids to believe out there, but yeah, there'll come a generation.
You've got a whole generation of people now who you can't say, what were you doing on 9/11?
Yeah. They weren't. Their answer is, I wasn't born yet. Yeah. And we're not talking about kids. We're talking about people in their 20s.
In their 20s, yeah. You can't. They have those who, that was before I was born, and that's what COVID is going to be at one point. So put COVID in your movie, you're immediately dating it. And
yes, exactly. So anyway, all that to be said, the basic premise. We probably should say that. The basic synopsis, according to IMDb, is the website HorrorVision.com has a mysterious secret. Anyone who logs on to it winds up dead. After Des, a web programmer, I love that, logs in, his girlfriend and others are attacked. Only Des and a mysterious man named Bradbury can stop the ominous forces intent on ruling the cyber world. So to give people full context, this movie is basically, because it came out in 2001, it is basically the classic, we have a very low budget. What is in the zeitgeist right now? Oh, The Matrix and Cyberpunk. We're going to make our low to no budget version of that.
Yeah.
That's what this is. Because they straight up have the leather on the main character and his girlfriend. Mm-hmm. And then I mean, James Black it's like as soon as he showed up, you're like, oh, Morpheus?
Yeah, exactly.
It was so obvious.
It seems like what they were going for here.
Yeah, although they never called him that. They called him Obi-Wan Kenobi at one point.
Well, that's what he was calling him, Obi-Wan Kenobi. Next thing you're going to do, you're going to tell me Darth Vader's my father. And he turns around and goes, Obi-Wan didn't tell Luke that. Vader did.
By the way, my kids, I'm so proud of them. I think it was Cotter said, oh, gee, were they trying to, because also Tarantino in 2001 was Tarantino, which, he was around and was a big, huge piece of the pocket. I think Kill Bill Volume 1 came out, was it 2002?
That was after this. By this point, he'd only had 3 movies out. He was making Kill Bill. He was in the process of making Kill Bill. But by this point, it was only Reservoir Dogs, 4 Rooms, if you're going to include that.
Pulp Fiction and Jackie Brown. But we're talking about 2000. So they made this probably in 2000.
But still influenced the whole group of filmmakers.
Yes, big time. And so but Cotter was like, oh, gee, were they trying to channel because he said the dialogue, not that it was like Tarantino dialogue quality, but that it was just that pop culture reference,
what they were going for. And to be fair, the few scenes in this that I sort of remember lean a little heavy into that. And I'm not going to say it's nearly the quality, but it's not as bad as it could have been considering the rest of the movie.
Yes. Yeah. So the movie's short, which God bless it.
An hour 13, yes.
Yeah. It's like, an hour 12 according to IMDb. So,
well, it seemed like an hour 13 to me.
It really dragged that long for you.
Yeah, it really dragged out.
It's 72 minutes. Here's the thing, though, and it does that thing, and it's so funny looking back. Like at my first feature, I totally did the same thing, and I'm thinking about actually doing a recut of my movie. The final cut of my first film was like 85 minutes. Mm-hmm. It could easily be 65 to 70.
Is that the zombie one?
No, the zombie one is a short. No, this is a feature.
That was the one on the Fangoria.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, no, this is the feature I made. It's called The Whole Town is Sleeping. We spent like $5,000 on it. It's kind of like a drama kind of thriller kind of thing. Right. And so, but yeah, the reason I bring all that up to say is I could identify with the amount of driving scenes in this movie.
Okay. Yeah.
There was a lot of driving. And in fact, I remember my wife at the time telling me, say, "Hun, do you need that much driving to get a pad out the time, hon?" But I realize now I'm cutting everything. The short I'm working on right now, I'm like, cut. There's entire scenes. I'm like, yep, don't need that. Cut it. But back then I was like, I need everything.
We saw the car drive off. We can see it pull in. We don't need the whole journey.
The irony is you probably don't even need that. You might need it once if you have to just set up a location, but once you set it up from then on, they could just suddenly be in the house talking. It's fine.
Although in this movie, the driving scenes were used for the music. That's where they were making the music videos.
Yes. So this is one of those movies where I'd say 80% of it, maybe even 85% of it, my kids were mostly groaning.
Yeah.
And despite the inclusion of random quick shots of like boobage, although weirdly it seemed like they all had like electrical tape over their nipples, which I'm not sure if that was
it's very strange. They were supposedly selling internet porn. Who's going to pay for that?
It was really weird. And then, by the way, when they show the shot, I think it's supposed to be a Brink's character wearing the GIMP mask.
Yes.
And it's like, and one of my kids goes, I got to be honest, if that does it for you, I think there might be something wrong, man. It's like the GIMP mask. Like, yeah, a little weird.
Yeah, I think Tarantino's ruined that mask.
Yeah, exactly. And people under the stairs. And people under the stairs too, right? And so, yeah, I think so. I'm trying to think where my thought was going with that. So basically, the 85% of this movie. It's just a lot of like, there's no real, you got the Dez character, he's Tracy, but there's no clear cut antagonist, James.
It's hard to figure. See, one of the things, and this is where I knew 5 minutes in that Charles Band was his name on this movie. Because one of the things about the Full Moon films, whether you're into the special effects or not, and you're saying, oh, they're a little bit wonky, whatever, he was great at world building.
Yeah,
that was one of the strengths. You get Trancers,
Puppet Master,
and you get even something like Dr. Mordred years later, which was probably around the time this movie was being made. It was late 90s, but not too far off.
Yeah, close.
He was great at building worlds. Yeah. There's no defined even end game to this whole thing. You don't even know what they're driving at in this movie. Even Bookwalter is better at building worlds than in 100%. This movie.
Ozone. I think Ozone's got a really great...
Ozone lays it out for you. You know where you're going. So
if Ozone had the budget of this thing, dude...
Yeah.
Holy crap. It's great as a $3,000 SVHS movie.
Exactly.
Because it's a good story. It's a good script. If it had $50,000, which I think is the budget of this thing... Yeah,
which I guess it's all up there on the screen. I don't know where.
Yeah, I was curious. I love to try to figure out what these movies used to shoot on because it's obviously video. It's an SOV kind of movie, but I'm guessing it would have been either like a Sony VX2000 or a Canon XL1 or 2. Like in that era, well, it wouldn't have been 2. I think a 2 came out in 2004, whatever.
Right.
No one cares but me. But you know what I mean? Like it didn't look like, it was definitely not VHS. It was a higher quality video camera than that. Some of the shots actually looked, I thought, pretty decent considering what it was.
We're sitting here picking on it, but there are things in this movie that I do have some positives. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. And I think the main issue, and Bookwalter, I love you, but is the script.
It is. But it wasn't just him. We can't lay it all at his feet.
No.
Some of it at his feet, but we can't lay it all there because there was a co-writer that came in.
Yeah, and it's also the editing because it's that choice of. I understand they had to probably hit a certain show.
Oh God, the editing in this bothered me so much because the actors were not coached. I mean, there's one scene where the guy's like sort of mellow, and then the next scene he's screaming his head off.
Yeah,
and there's the scene where they're talking in the car.
Yeah,
after they've parked in the desert. Which is actually, and I'll get to that's actually one of the things I thought, I was kind of into that sort of conversation there.
Yeah.
And then he gets out and they've sort of bonded. Yeah. And then he gets out and right away he's challenging him again. What are you doing? Where are we going?
It's like that we need drama. We need something conflict to happen. So let's have them yell at each other.
There has to be a link.
Yeah.
Like you can tell where this was filmed on one day and this was filmed on another because no one remembers what they did in the previous scene or at least their tone and their mood.
Yeah,
they don't remember that.
Consistency.
There's no consistency here, especially from the lead guy.
Yeah.
Now you can lay a little bit of that on the actor, but the director's got to let him know, hey, okay, now remember, you're getting out of this where you two have had this moment.
Yeah.
But he gets out and right away, where are you taking me? Well, stop, wait up. I can't move. Wait, stop. What's going on? Why are you leading me? It's like, come on, at least have a little bit of like just tie it together a little bit better. Don't remind us that they were filmed at separate times on maybe separate days.
Yes. Yeah. And I think, and looking at his credits, the actor is Lynn Cordova, who played Dex. There was something about him I liked.
I didn't dislike him in the role. I think he was actually pretty good.
I agree with you. I think it's more of a directional thing because he actually has gone, if you look through his IMDb credits, I mean, I don't know how big the parts were, but dude, he's been in everything from like Dexter and Revenge, the show, American Horror Story. He played Steve Jobs in American Horror Story, which if you look on his IMDb page and see the picture from that, he actually looks just like it's really weird. He does look like Steve Jobs now. But
and he was good. I didn't dislike the actors in this movie.
No,
that's usually one of the things you can attack a movie for. For this level of film, they did pretty damn good in the casting, I thought, especially with Des and even with Dazzy, because I think you can see they did manage to build a relationship between the two of them to the point that you cared when something happened to Dazzy.
At least a little bit, yes.
At least a little bit. Now, they probably shouldn't have had him cry because you could tell they did the whole sponge on the eyes thing and got it closer, but let's get it before it dries.
Yeah.
He wasn't real strong at crying.
Yes.
But aside from that, you felt the relationship and you felt the weight of that when it would come up again.
Yeah, yeah. And interesting to know, by the way, I'm guessing she just decided acting wasn't her bag because I actually thought the girl who played Dazzy was
pretty good.
Yeah. She has 8 credits. She hasn't done anything since 2008.
Oh, okay. So she got married.
Oh, no, sorry. No, 2005. Actually.
So she got married or something.
Something out. Yeah, I decided to enough of this. She was in another movie I think Full Moon put out called Stitches. It's another one of these, I think where they were just distributing it. Ariana Albright is in that.
The only Stitches I know is the one, I think, from Ireland or from overseas with the clown.
No, this is not that one. This is from 2001, same year.
This can't be that one.
Yeah, it's a demon disguised as an old woman moves into a boarding house for the purpose of harvesting the souls of the other occupants. It also had Ariana Albright, who was in this. She was the one when he comes into Tony, the Brink Stevens character's place, and the woman's laying on the bed.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And I believe she listed, because one of the credits was crack horror.
That has to be her.
Because based on what she was offering up to do. No, she was not. She was Nola.
Oh, okay.
Crack horror was, I think, the girl when they come out and she's got the pipe and she hit the guy in the head.
Beating up the boyfriend, and then Nola says, "Hey, hit him while you're at it."
Yes. That's she was Nola. But yeah, I agree with you. I actually think. And here's the thing, and for anybody who's new to us doing Horror Lagoon episodes, we are not comparing these movies to movies with $300 million budgets. Yeah. I first off don't think that's remotely fair. I just think that's like trying to find a good analogous equation. That's like saying the food truck that bring that you buy that little pocket sandwich thing you get every day for lunch should have the same sort of operational qualities as like a McDonald's chain or a, you know what I mean, or Chick-fil-A chain or Subway or whatever.
The
right?
big line, and I can't remember the director who used it, but because he ended up working on a big movie at one time. The movie that they spend for craft, the money they spend for craft services on a Hollywood movie would have paid for 10 HorrorVisions.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. And I think that, so it's actually all about the level of like cleverness and what you could do with less, because most big budget movies are corporate affairs. They're corporate. These are not. These are your mom and pop, you know, like if you go to a mom and pop store, you're not expecting to see that same
You're not
overproduced.
You're not going to get that same level. If there's a weak performance in this, I think it might be, you could say Brink Stevens is not at the top of her game.
But it's so quick, and I feel like she was just told react to
probably in an hour and a half.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, they said, sit here, look into the camera. We're going to take a few pictures and go. And that was it.
I feel like no matter what you think about, because again, she pretty much all she had to work with was a computer screen, apparently.
Yeah.
Running, I'm guessing either Windows 95 or I guess Windows 2000. That was a thing, right? Because that thing, I remember that interface. Oh my God, that took me back.
You're looking at that thing, it's like, boy, it really brings you back to the days of, it's basically like the Stone Age.
Or Windows 98. It's probably Windows 98.
Probably
they shot this in 2000. Yeah. She when she reacts though to the ridiculous wires coming out. But her reaction, A+.
Her reaction was good.
A+.
That's her strength. That's her scream queen coming out, and that was where she was at her best. Was when she
sells that, because I mean that is about the goofiest death I've seen in a long time.
Exactly, and that's another problem with this movie is there's no consistency in the way that this thing works.
Yes,
in one, wires come out and steal someone. In another, it digitizes them and sucks them in. There's no consistency. Now, maybe they're going for kill scenes like you do in a slasher movie where he's not going to kill anybody the same way twice.
Yeah.
But it doesn't work. It doesn't, it doesn't work in this movie because you're like, okay, well, it did that to her. It did this to her. Why did it hit this one over the head? You know, it doesn't make any sense.
Now, I will tell you the thing I loved James Black because I just like him. I loved him in Ozone. I know he's done a lot since this era that but it's been more, I think, drama, more mainstream type stuff. I would love to see him do some other indie type things. I like him. I like his presence.
I do too.
And he's also like the bald kind of jacked dude wearing the leather sleeveless duster. Just totally had that, like, it's a bit of a cliche, but it's like it just immediately is like guy from the future. Like it just has that like cyberpunk. Like he fits it perfect. But the other thing I really liked in this movie, I don't know how you felt about it, and yes, I understand. By big budget standards, they were cheesy. But especially at the end, I liked the effects. Like I liked the monster at the end.
I liked the monster. I liked that whole giant devil thing. I mean, yes, it's not great effects by standards that people will be used to now. Yeah. But watch 5 shot-to-video films from this time period, and then watch this, and you're going to say, "Hey, that was really good." But what I told my kids was because even the sort of like gravity, the gravity affected phantasm balls, where they, instead of flying through the air, they just roll after you. Which, by the way, low budget 101, that's genius because they turn into these like centipede looking things that attack you, but you need to get it to run after people. And how stupid would that have looked if they just had to pull it down the hall with a string? So why not have it turn into like a roly-poly, and then you have a guy behind the camera just chuck it down the hallway after the actors? If you were to tell me that was the one contribution of Charles Band, I'd believe you.
Yes,
because I could see him coming up with something.
That's smart, though. If you think about it, that's smart.
It is smart. It is smart.
As much as you want to, if we could goof all day, like, oh, they're rolling down, but that is a smarter way to have it happen.
Now they probably should have had the same guy rolling it because one guy it was right behind him, another.
I know that was the one. That's the only problem with that is like how like the timing
wasn't consistent.
Yeah, exactly. But that aside, I actually like because it kind of weirdly reminded me of in Bubba Hotep. Remember when the bug? Like the bug creature is in the room and attack. I don't know if you remember that. And it had something about it reminded me of that.
I can see that. Yeah. And it was a cool creature. And the thing at the end, apart from the fact that it was immobile, like it wasn't moving.
Yes.
It was still damn cool. And whoever did the creature effects in this with the limited budget they had.
David Barton, who I think has worked with, his name was David Barton. I think that's actually one of Bookwalter's buddy. Like I think they worked together since I could be wrong. I'm checking this as we talk.
The Dead Next Door.
The Dead Next Door. I think they've been working together. Like because I read Bookwalter.
By the way, it makes a cameo in this movie.
Oh yes, yeah. Well, yeah. I was going to get to that. We had time.
I think Dead Next Door.
Hold on, I'm trying to see. I don't see it up there. I must be down there somewhere. I have Bookwalter's like autobiography that he wrote, which is really good if you ever get a chance to read it.
Yeah.
And I see David P. Barton, I believe is who it was. And I'm just real quick going through his IMDb. I think he has been working. Yeah. You know what? Maybe I'm lying. No, yeah, Dead Next Door. There he is. Okay. Yeah, they've been working together since then. Yeah, Dead Next Door, Robot Ninja. So they were working together on several of those movies. And then obviously, so I think that creature at the end. So here's my theory of the case. If they had made it to where that was the antagonist.
Yeah.
That was the embodiment of this computer situation and the antagonist had him be from the jump. Like when Brink gets killed, he appears. I think the fact that you couldn't make him too weak, I feel like that contraption, somebody could have been under it. Yeah. And kind of almost like if you were Universal Studios, Hollywood Horror Nights, something, and so has to wear like you could tell there's somebody under it, right? But it just has that sense. Like they could have done something like that. And maybe they did and just decided it didn't look good from afar. I don't know. But even if, like, back to your world building idea and some rules, I feel like if maybe whenever they go to the website, they push a button, it's like a virus, right? And it triggers something. And like, if there's any sort of device that it can come through, like that, it just appears and then it can control the physical world. Like you set that up as the rule. Okay. Right. You could have had him pop up throughout the entire movie and he would have been the face of the villain, right? He is the villain. And then that roly-poly thing, you don't just do one, you do like 3 of them. Right. And they always have like different personalities and he controls those. So he brings them out and he throws them and they roll up and ching and they break.
That would have been pretty cool. Yeah.
And I feel like that would have, even just had it like happen like 3 or 4 times throughout the movie, would have been a better, more consistent way of doing that. Like that's how I took it.
Well, they needed some consistency. They needed something to sort of link all this stuff together.
Yeah, you needed rules.
It's like they were just throwing darts at the wall and
it had that today,
and
I agree with you. And it also had that problem. I think a lot of very low budge, no budge, student type film kind of movies, more amateur. This was an amateur. These people were like several of them, including Bookwalter, professionals.
I've done stuff before, yeah,
a lot of stuff before. But it's that same issue that I think a lot of that movies that are in that collective bucket have, which is because you're low budget, the cheapest thing to shoot are dialogue scenes.
Yeah.
Here's the problem: most people are not Tarantino or Patty Chayefsky.
That is true.
Most people are. So I almost wonder too, because there was moments where I thought to myself, I bet you they're letting the actors improv right here. Like the scene where they're in the store, that felt very like we've got this cool visual location we can use. There's no real point to this.
Who was the guy behind the counter?
John Carpenter's lesser known twin. That guy?
Yeah, that guy. Yeah, because I got the feeling he might be someone because they walk in the store. Hey, Dazzy, how you doing? I got something really cool for you on the shelf over there. And they walk over. There's 10,000 things on this freaking shelf. What was he pointing at? It was basically an insert to get this guy in the movie.
First off, that guy looks amazing.
Yeah.
Okay. So there's that. But his real name is Del Howison. The character's name was Dark Del, and the name of that place that the store was like Dark Delicacies or something, right? So I'm guessing that might be his real store, and he might
that's his real store, and they were giving him a plug in this, and then they used some of his stuff for props or whatever.
I'm sure that's exactly. What I liked about him, and this is I missed this from like low and no budget films, especially from like the 70s. And by the way, this is his 4th movie he was in. He actually he was a bar patron uncredited in Lord of Illusions.
Oh, okay.
And then he was in a movie called Blood Slaves of the Vampire Wolf from 96, which I've never heard, and Limp Fangs, which I've never heard of. But then HorrorVision was like his 4th credit. And then since
that has to be his most screen time, probably.
It might be. He's been in 29 things with 2 upcoming.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So he's still used, because he has a very cool, unique look to him.
Yes, he does.
And basically, I always love like in Chainsaw Massacre or the movies of that era when they would use locals
Yeah.
for like just a little part because it adds this realness, you know what I mean? And if they and sometimes it can backfire because because they're not actors, right? They're not. But that's the thing is they're not actors, so they're not performing. They're just being. And if you can make them forget the key is if they're self-conscious. Like if they can forget the camera and just be themselves, then it almost feels like documentary.
Yeah, it does.
And I love that.
That kid in Deliverance is probably
the best example of it ever. And Chainsaw Massacre, like the graveyard scene at the beginning when they go to the graveyard and all the people are milling about the way they're kind of.
That's pretty good. The drunk guy and then the cop, we'll steal your girl here for a minute. They go,
all of that feels very real. It
feels very genuine. Yeah.
Yeah, I love that kind of shit, dude. I love it so much. In fact, like to me, like as I work on like projects, like I want to try to have more of that because I love that. Where your film might be a total fiction, but there's this real world connection just through the people and how they are. And like, and it helps to get people who are, it's like El Mariachi. That's another great example because other than his lead actor, I don't think anybody in that, and I think maybe the one who played the girl love interest. Everybody else though, had never, including his villain, like the guy in the white shirt was the guy you met when he was in his medical thing that he did to when there were medical experiments to get the money for the movie. And the guy, and if you pay attention, like through the whole movie, he's got the lines on like cards in his hand. And it's just like, and he always wore sunglasses. That's what you do. That's what I love about these no budget DIY kind of movies, right? You got to get clever. You got to get creative, or you have characters sit around and talk and yell at each other, and that's not as clever or creative, which is probably my biggest knock on this movie is that I agree with you. I like the scene where they were in the car, but here's what they do. They do that thing where the car runs out of gas, so they talk. Okay, fine. Then they leave the car, take about 15 steps, pause, have a fight, kinda, for dramatic purposes, and then they talk again.
Yeah.
And then they talk again. It's just an excuse. It's not like it's not a cause and effect. It's not a
and what gets me is that one of the things they're sitting in the car and he's like, well, no, our journey. I guess we're at the end. He's like, no, our journey is just beginning. But then they get out of the car, walk 15 steps, and the guy's like, okay, we're here.
And by the way, that line feels like the end of the movie.
It does. It feels like they should have ended it there. They didn't end it so strong that they couldn't have ended it right there.
Yes, precisely.
I think you could have monster. They could have maybe gotten him in earlier, but
you could have had that scene with them because, and that's probably my only other. I really hated the way they killed the monster. I understand they had to do it something like that for the budget,
break the watch or something.
Yeah,
it took that guy forever to break that watch.
Oh, and by the way, I'm 99% sure the concept of a smartwatch was not a thing for real in 2000. That was
I think that was created for the movie. Yeah,
because it was like a calculator. A calculator watch was about the best you were getting.
Yeah, exactly. He was getting stock updates.
That's right. Yeah, he was getting his stock. Oh, it was great. Yeah, I told the kids like after James Black's character gets attacked, and because he was mad at the guy for his stock updates. I was like, oh, die, you capitalist pig. But yeah, honestly, I didn't hate this movie, and in fact, I
didn't hate it either.
Yeah, and I have another soft spot for this. Do you remember on the Sci-Fi Channel back in the 2000s? Like I feel like it would have been the early-ish 2000s. William Shatner hosted a full moon show called Full Moon Fright Night. You remember this?
I do remember that. Yeah,
I'm 90% sure I have on a burned DVD somewhere all the episodes of that, or just about all. And HorrorVision was one of them.
That's really cool. I would love to see that because
if I find it,
Shatner has to say.
I actually not that long ago tried to go find. I could have a bunch of Commander USA, Dr. Paul Bearers, a bunch of different horror host stuff that are all on like either VHS tape or DVD, and I digitized a lot of them. And so I have like a folder. I'll share it with you. I think the Full Moon Fright Night stuff might actually be in that. So
that's awesome.
Yeah,
that's really cool. Like I love the movie on the Blu-ray. I love the Ice Cream Man movie. Yeah, it was really cool watching it with Joe Bob, and then Clint Howard comes in and joins them. We were watching like during the show.
Yep. Oh, you know what I just got? I haven't gotten it in yet, but I got. Speaking of Joe Bob, I have a VHS coming of Blood Feast. Hosted by Joe Bob.
Wow.
From like the 90s.
Oh, wow. That's going to be so cool.
Yeah. So I thought that was pretty awesome. I was like, okay, got to get that. And it was only like, it wasn't like $10. It wasn't that much. It was not like, $50 or something crazy.
Right. Oh, wow. That's awesome.
All right. But hold on one second, Dave. Just hold on.
Yeah.
I guess they come in. Hold on. I'm pausing whatnot here.
No
Okay.
problem.
All right. We'll wrap it up. All right. So by not to go down the rabbit hole of awesomeness that is Joe Bob Briggs and horror
Right.
host and all that stuff right now. Dave,
Yeah.
then for you, I know we don't typically like rate these movies in the Jay of the Dead sort of way because there's no point, but would you recommend, I would recommend somebody who loves Bookwalter, Full Moon, although this is not like
shot
you
on
said,
video and
shot on video for sure. If you want to see what a Full Moon shot on video movie, even though they had a couple other ones, I think in this era that were like that, then you should see this movie. And I would say, because James Black, Ariana Albright, some of the cast and the effects, especially towards the end of the movie. That's why the last 15 minutes of this movie, I think my kids and I all really, really liked that.
Yeah,
the last part.
The only part that I had an issue with, and my oldest son was watching the end of it with me, and he was sort of like reacting to somebody like he tends to be a little snarky. But he did make one good point when the guy said, we're here and they're standing in the desert and this is where we're going to rebuild society. We got to get away from technology, the whole 9 yards. He did make a good point that maybe you'd want to go to some place you could actually grow food. Because you're going to have to eat at some point. And maybe the middle of the desert is not the ideal place to restart society.
Well, James Black's character, like lecturing Dex about technology as they're in a car. It's like the equivalent of the modern day person lecturing everybody about whatever. And as they hold this iPhone in their, or whatever phone in their hand, that's probably pieces of have been created through slave labor in some third world country. You know what I'm saying? Like, really? You want to lecture people, do you? Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Anyway, so yeah, the food thing is hilarious. I have to remember that. I'll tell my kids that. They'll think that's funny. So Dave.
Yeah.
As per usual, thank you for being here. I know I think we last time said our next movie was going to be the Shadow Dead. I don't know if we announced that or not.
I'm not sure if we did either, but I know it will be this time.
But we did this, just so anybody's wondering, and this is coming out in October. It's because it's part of Spooky Flicks Fest.
Yes.
Because this was actually one of the movies I had on my list of techno horror, which it is. It
is. Oh, technically it is. If Strangeland is techno horror, this is techno horror.
Yes, for sure. Yeah. And the original title on this thing, or one of the early titles, was FearDotCom.
Right, and they dropped that, and then another movie came out.
As FearDotCom. Yeah. So So I think we kind of like tentatively recommend it with a bunch of caveats.
I'd like if you, let's put it this way: if you've liked Frankie and his pals, I think you're going to probably find something.
I think you'll be fine. I think you'll be fine.
Exactly.
So Dave, we'll tell everybody where they can find you, and I think before we do that, the next one either will be Shadow Dead or Winter Beast, which is Jay of the Dead. Right. So I don't know. We'll have to figure out which one we're gonna do next, but one of those two. Yeah, we'll be doing that.
But both will be coming up at some point.
Yes, fairly soon. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So Dave, where can they find you?
You can find me DVDinfatuation.com, my blog, and not so much social. Don't worry about social media right now. As far as other podcasts, Land of the Creeps, of course, with Greg Mortis and Bill the Butcher and Twisted Temperance Pearl. We still have episodes coming out. As a matter of fact, we're getting pretty close. I don't know when, but we're closing. We're in the closing in on 450, I think.
Wow,
and
nice.
So 500 is just around the corner, with him releasing every week.
Yeah.
Of course, if you go to Considering the Cinema, I have 2 going. DVD Infatuation podcast. I haven't had anything for a while, but I actually have 4 things planning now that look as if they're going to happen.
Nice.
And in the very near future. And the weekly watch list with Mac and Jay. Cool. Which they're not really weekly because we have more in the can than we've released.
No.
Hard to believe. Hey, have our
Jay, we love you. You know,
our top 10s of 2024 been released yet? I don't think so. as we close in at the end of 2025.
Yes.
Just kidding, Jay. Just kidding. We understand. And mention Jay of the Dead's new horror movies with the plethora of hosts over there. I really try not to name them anymore because
you're going to leave somebody out.
I'd hate to do that. So
yes,
but go over there. And yeah, check all of those shows out, and I really look forward to talking Shadow Dead with you. I've seen that. I'm not sure if you've seen that.
I've not watched it yet. Okay, cool,
I
cool.
really look forward to talking that one with you in the near future.
Awesome. All right, cool. So yes, obviously I can be found, Jay, that it's your horror movies. This particular thing, if you're watching it right now, can be found on his show because that's where it originated from, and he puts the audio version out. So yeah, and this one, it seems like we kept it at a reasonable length. It's not like an hour and a half long segment.
Exactly, an hour and a half long segment of an 18-hour show.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's fair enough. Yeah, so be sure to check that out. It's awesome. All of those guys rule. And of course, Mom and Pop Video Shop. If you're watching this, then you're already on the channel. Why not share, subscribe? You know,
as a matter of fact, my phone is blowing up with messages right now. I'm sure that's Jay of the Dead's chain. That's the.
I know. I woke up this morning. I'm like reading. I'm like, oh, come on, guys. All right, come on. Guys. Okay. I went to bed. That was my mistake. I went to bed.
Right. That's part of the problem. And I'll be honest with you. When it goes off in rapid succession, it's usually you, Joel, adding emojis to every message that you.
I don't understand why it does that though.
I don't know either. I don't know why it keeps alerting people.
I've actually tried to get better about that because I always forget that you guys that don't, you know. I think it's if you're on Android.
I just feel my phone in my pocket, bing, 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 like it's going off like crazy.
What it is
Joel's awake. Joel's awake.
You're like. At least I know that Joel's alive.
Yes, Joel is alive, and he is liking, laughing at, or loving all of the messages in the chain.
And I'm not. You're right. From now on, I'll just do like one big thumbs up. It'll just be random, and I won't say what it's for. That's what I'll do. Good point. All right. So on that note, thank you, Dave, for being here. I don't think we have any like official signing off on this particular show that we do.
We should end it like they ended the movie, the HorrorVision, because even my son was like, "Are you kidding me? That's the end of the guy limping off into the distance." So this is the video equivalent of us limping off
the distance, and we'll just say, "Stay swampy."
Yes.